Hi, welcome back to the Sanders Kitchen. I'm Mike, and if you're just tuning in to my channel right now, guess what you're saying? You are saying, where in the world has Mike and Pam been? Okay, and I have an answer for you. It's a really good answer. My right knee totally gave out about 6-7 weeks ago, and I couldn't even hardly walk. It was that bad. So I had knee replacement surgery, like right away, and it's been about 5 weeks, and I'm doing pretty good. So I'm just now getting to a point where I could stand up for a while. If I stand up too long, like, you know, for 3 or 4 hours, I can feel it, okay? But anyway, that's what's been going on. Pam's been taking care of me, and you know I've taken advantage of that too, okay? Now. Honey, get me this, honey, get me that, and she's been right there for me, okay? Anyway, all right, so today, my first recipe, and I apologize, we didn't do a recipe for like actually Christmas or New Year's, just because of the surgery. But this is the first one coming up this year, and one of my all-time favorite recipes. When I cooked on WWL TV, Frank and Mary Claire cooked this. I'm telling you, everybody loved it. And they called it one pot cabbage casserole. Now, we did this recipe a couple of years ago, but I'm going to re-up it again because we have, you know, higher quality camera equipment and so on. So we're going to do it again and make it a little easier for you to follow. But the recipe is really good. Even if you don't like cabbage, it's very possible you would love this recipe. So thank you for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and slide right into telling you what all the ingredients are. So let's do that right now. Okay, so ingredients, real simple. We have olive oil and butter. Now we're going to melt that down together, and that's what we're going to put our veggies in, okay? Now, for veggies, we have onion. We have the red and the yellow onion. Boy, that's a huge one, I'm telling you. We have bell pepper. We have 1 bell pepper, 2 ribs of celery, some parsley, and by the way, I know you're probably saying, oh my God, he's not using all of that. No, all of the ingredients will be in the description, okay? And of course, some garlic. Now, we also are going to use a can of tomato sauce, can of tomato paste, and some Rotel tomatoes. This is the original with the green chilies. Okay, we also have ground beef. It's about 1 pound. Hey, look, if you go buy ground beef and it's 1.25 pounds or something like that, don't fret over it, just use it, okay? This is 1 pound of ground, well, it's supposed to be ground pork, right? Previous recipe using Italian sausage now. So 1 pound of Italian sausage. I'm going to use some Italian seasoning blend and a little bit of oregano. I'm an oregano fan, I'm sorry, I love it. I also love basil, but I love the way it all comes together. Now, as for seasonings, I love Frank Davis's seasonings. I know you can't get them anymore, but you can substitute for someone else's vegetable seasoning and some pork seasoning. Now, Frank's pork seasoning has a little cumin in it, a little smoke flavor. You're not going to believe this, but just a tablespoon in this whole thing, you talk about make a difference in the flavor. It's amazing. So now the star of the show is the cabbage. We're using 1 head. I did not weigh it. I don't know how many cups it is. It's not that critical. So just get yourself a big cabbage, clean it up, and I'm going to show you how to cut it. So, in fact, that is the one thing that we need to do before I ever turn the fire on, and that's mise en place. Everything in its place before we start cooking. So, let's get started with preparing all the veggies. All right, look at them ingredients, huh? Everything is ready to go. We got the cabbage cut up. We got the onions, the bell pepper, the celery, the parsley, the garlic, all our seasoning. Cans are open. I want to show you this. This is about 1 inch square. So when you cut your cabbage up, look, it's not rocket science. Just try to get them in like a coarse cut, okay? You know, like you coarse cut an onion. So cut your cabbage up like that. I didn't keep the core. If you like the core, then you can keep it. So the first thing we're gonna do is come over here and turn this pot on, turn the fire on, I mean, and we're gonna go ahead and melt some butter. Remember, all of the ingredients are gonna be in the description, so don't worry about the amounts. Okay, so we're gonna melt this butter down along with some olive oil. How much olive oil? You know, I'm going to say about 3 or 4 tablespoons. I'm not measuring, so I'm just going to coat the bottom of the pot really well, and I'm happy with that. So my fire's up nice and high, and as soon as the butter is melted and the oil is very hot, then we'll start adding the veggies. Okay, our butter and olive oil getting hot. So the first thing we're going to do is add in our onion. Now, just to let you know, I have red onion and the yellow onion. I'm putting both in now. Stir that around just a second. Add in the bell pepper. Add in the celery. Add in my garlic. And some parsley. I'm going to saute this for probably 8 minutes until all these veggies start to simmer down a little bit. So, I'll see you back in about 8 minutes. Well, the veggies are looking pretty good right now, as you can see. I don't think I went 8 minutes, it's probably more like 5, but there's still a lot of cooking to do. So I'm gonna make a little hole in the middle where I could put in my ground beef. And also, I'm going to go ahead and add in the Italian sausage. There it is. Now, as you can see, I'm just going to chop this up with my spoon. Now, this may take quite a few minutes. My fire is on high. But once it starts to cook, I'm going to turn the fire down because I don't want to burn the bottom of my pot. But I'm going to fold in the veggies on top of the meat and keep chopping it up and just get it all folded in together. And that's part of the deal. So as you can see, the beef and the pork are getting chopped up and incorporated into the veggies very nicely. And I'm just going to wait a few more minutes until I don't see any pink of the meat. And then we'll add in my oregano. Can add that in now. That's not going to hurt a thing. And that 2 tablespoons of the Italian seasoning blend. That's got basil and everything in it. Man, I'll tell you what, I love this. Whew, did I say that already? I'm probably going to say it a few more times. Oh my God, that's smelling good. Normally I would put salt and pepper in. I'm trying to cut back on a little salt. You know why? Trying to lose a little weight. So I find that I will salt near the end. And I'll probably use a lot less salt for my own serving. So that's the way I'm going to do it. So here's the next step. We're going to add in the Rotel tomatoes. Look how pretty that is. Tomato sauce. And some paste. You don't have to add this whole can if you don't want. I usually do, because I don't know what I'm going to do with a half a can of paste or a quarter can of paste. All right, let's go ahead and fold all this in. So now you see how everything came together beautifully. Now let's go ahead and add in a couple of more seasonings. Okay, this is Frank Davis's pork seasoning. It's got a little cumin, a little smoke, and just 1 tablespoon. I'm telling you, that's plenty enough. And then, now here's where your salt's going to come from too. Now this is Frank's vegetable seasoning, and I know it's got salt and pepper in it, so I'm just going to use a tablespoon of that. I'm going to fold that in. Okay, so here we are. Everything's looking good, and it's time to put the cabbage in. Now, that's the reason why I wanted to make the point of why did I use such a large pot, because I want to be able to get all of the cabbage in, if I can, at one time, and not have to keep simmering. So if you don't have a pot this big and you want to use a whole cabbage, then you have to put in as much as you can and fold it in just like I'm doing now, and then put the lid on and you know, lower the heat down just a little bit, but just let it simmer with the lid on for 2 or 3 minutes. That way the cabbage starts to cook, and then it gets soft and you have more room in the pot. Okay, so right now I'm going to go ahead and add in some more cabbage. I have a little bit left, but I want to make sure that it's all going to fold in nicely. And you know, earlier when I looked in here and saw that liquid, I said, God, I hope they don't get scared and start emptying all that out, because you're going to need it. And right now, I don't even see it. It's blending in very well with the meat, the veggies, and the cabbage. It's all looking good. Okay, now, this is the reason why I'm using a big pot. Because I just got a whole cabbage in there. Man, look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so now that you've seen this process, the only thing left to do at this point is to make sure that you've gotten all of the meat sauce folded in with the cabbage. Turn the fire down a little bit. Kind of like a medium, you know, a medium heat. And get your lid, put your lid on, turn it down just a little bit more, and let's just let it simmer for a few minutes until that cabbage cooks down, just until it's about al dente. You know, it's not going to be like smothered cabbage, but I like it where there's a little tooth to the cabbage. So I'm going to continue stirring about every couple of minutes. And when the cabbage is just how I like it, then we'll show you. We're going to add the rice in, and it's almost a done deal. Okay, I'm turning the fire down to a simmer. I'll test this lid so I don't burn my hands. Okay, take a look at that. Now you can see some liquid in here. That's because the cabbage is releasing its liquids. And that's why the cabbage is getting soft. And it's actually just how I like it right now. So I'm going to stir it up a little bit. And next comes the rice. About a cup and a half, cup and a quarter. Instant rice, right? So put that rice in and fold it in really good. Stir it around real good. So you see now, you can hardly even see the rice. And now I'm going to turn the fire off. And I'm going to set my timer for 12 minutes. And 12 minutes later, it's going to be a wrap. So we'll see you guys in about 12 minutes. Let me set my timer. Boom. 12 minutes. Here we go. Ooh, it's been a little over 12 minutes. And look how beautiful that is. I love it. All those little grains of rice are now all plumped up. Look how pretty. I knew it was going to be beautiful. And the cabbage is cooked perfectly. Well, there's nothing left to do but get a bowl and give it a go. Look at that. Well, that looks so good, you guys. I love cabbage casserole. Like I said, you could put this in a casserole, put Parmesan cheese on, even sprinkle some breadcrumbs on it, if that's how you want to eat it. But I like mine like this. Very, very good. So, see, some of the cabbage pieces are still al dente. But when you eat a piece of cabbage like that, it still has a little bite to it. It gives you a burst of sweet cabbage flavor. It's beautiful. Maybe you just have to like cabbage to understand that. Wow. It's hot. But it is delicious. Oh my goodness. It is so good. All the flavors of the veggies and the cabbage and all the spices that we put in, and not a drop of salt or added pepper. And I'm telling you, it's absolutely delicious. So I'm going to have this last mouthful right here. Such a delicious recipe. The meal is fabulous. I think you'll love it. If you try it, let me know, okay? All of the ingredients and instructions are going to be in the description under the video. And so if you're wondering, how much this or that, it'll all be there, okay? I want to thank you guys for tuning back into the Sandra's Kitchen. Thank you so much for subscribing. We actually are on the verge of hitting 4,000 subscribers. I never thought we'd ever get to that point. I never honestly thought we would. But you know what? It's because of you guys viewing our videos, and I'm so glad that you do. And I'm really, I hope that we continue to please you. And that way because we really enjoy doing this. We really, really do. And we have a lot of different dessert recipes and other things to make for you. So all that being said, have a great week, and go make you some cabbage casserole. You will love it. Thank you for all your prayers, all my friends and family. Thank you for all your prayers and your thoughts and your love. We really, really appreciate you guys. So from the Sandra's Kitchen to you guys, to your kitchen, we love you. Have a great week. Go get you some cabbage casserole, and God bless you.